Meanwhile, an explosion and fire in a passenger train injured 5 people near Redfern Station today. The State Rail Authority says a mechanical failure was to blame, and tonight one of the passengers remains in hospital suffering from serious burns.
The city-bound train was carrying about 500 passengers between Strathfield and Redfern, where an electric motor beneath the rear carriage overheated and exploded. The force of the blast lifted seats and the entire carriage was showered with glass and metal fragments. A fire then broke out, burning some of the 30 passengers in the carriage. An SRA employee managed to extinguish the fire, but suffered shock and smoke inhalation in the process. A young woman was treated at the scene for minor injuries, while another was taken to Royal Prince Alfred Hospital with minor burns. Worse injured was an elderly couple who was sitting above the faulty motor. The woman suffered serious second-degree burns to her arms and legs, while her husband suffered minor burns to his arms. An investigation into the explosion has been ordered, while SRA engineers check the condition of their entire single-deck motorcar fleet. The State Rail Authority admits that the older type of carriage, built in 1927, has become a mechanical headache, and they'll be phasing out the older model as soon as possible. Alan Hind, Eyewitness News.
The woman, in her 60s, was one of 5 passengers on a suburban train to suffer injuries when their carriage burst into flames. It's thought a section of the floorboard in the rear compartment of the old single-deck carriage blew out when the train's motor overheated. A train guard managed to extinguish the flames, but the 30 passengers scrambled for safety as it pulled into Redfern Station. The morning train was headed for the city from Hornsby. Elizabeth Hayes, National 9 News.
3 Sydney rail commuters are in hospital tonight, one with serious burns, after an explosion on a suburban train. 2 other passengers were also hurt when the motor blew apart and set fire to an old red Rattler carriage. A special inquiry is already underway.
The 952 from Hornsby was nearing Redfern Station when the electrical motor under the last car suddenly exploded, blasting red-hot engine parts through the carriage. 5 passengers bore the brunt of the explosion.
There was only one person who couldn't walk, and the others, she was laid on their seat, and the others who helped her.
A 60-year-old woman suffering severe second-degree burns, her husband and a young woman were rushed to Royal Prince Alfred Hospital. Another man and woman were treated and allowed home. Investigators are amazed no one was killed or maimed by the shrapnel, which even pierced the roof. The old red Rattler is one of several hundred built 58 years ago and still in daily use. This one was checked only yesterday. An early report by SRA engineers suggests the motor overheated, then disintegrated.
Now, that's not, I'm told by the engineers, necessarily uncommon in any electric motor, particularly old electric motors. But we've got no record over the last 60 years of it ever risking the health and well-being of passengers.
But the SRA is obviously concerned if one motor disintegrates, others might too. Late this afternoon, railway investigators admitted they're still worried and baffled over the cause of the explosion. They're now dismantling what's left of the engine in a bid to locate the fault quickly to ensure there'll be no similar explosions on our remaining red Rattler trains. Kay Brown for News World.